Belson Cisa, Justin Sampson, Heather Matarazzo, and I want to say a word about Cenk Uygur.
Yeah!
All of you know the Young Turks?
Yeah!
And this is why what Cenk and the Young Turks are doing is so important. We live in a world where the corporate media, the people who own our country, give us their definition of reality. And what Cenk and a few other people are trying to do is give us a different perspective on reality, the reality facing the middle class and working people, not just the billionaire class.
Yeah! That's right.
And I thank Cenk very much for the very good work that he does. Let me just begin by giving you a very personal anecdote. This morning, I got my big cup of coffee, and I won't tell you. And a guy came up to me and he said, Senator Sanders, I'm supporting you very much. And then tears started rolling down his eyes. Because, he says, I have just terrible student debt. I don't know what he makes, but he was pouring coffee, and I suspect not a whole lot. All right, and that's the story that we are hearing all over this country of a nation in which a lot of people are in trouble. Now, let me just start off and be very blunt. We're here in Anaheim. Everybody knows the major economic force here in Anaheim is the Disney Corporation. Anybody here work for Disney? Anybody here making a living wage from Disney? No! Let's put it on. All right, so when we talk, I'm probably the only politician to come to Anaheim and say this.
Yeah! That's right!
But here is, and I use Disney, not just to pick on Disney, but as an example of what we are talking about when we talk about a rigged economy. Here in Anaheim and the surrounding areas, Disney pays its workers wages that are so low that many of them are forced to live in motels because they can't afford a decent place to live. Meanwhile, Disney made a record-breaking profit of nearly $3 billion last quarter. Now, on the other side of the world, in Florida, in Disney World, Disney replaced 250 workers with low-wage foreign workers who came in on what is called the H-1B program. Right? So in order to save money, what they did is replace workers, I think they will, tech workers. Is that what it was, technology workers? They got rid of them and brought in other people, had the tech workers train the other people, and then brought the other people in for low wages. Meanwhile, the CEO of Disney made $46.5 million in total compensation.
Boo!
Disneyland's expensive!
And that's what we're talking about. That is what we're talking about in a rigged economy. People working at very low wages while the people on top are doing phenomenally well. And what this campaign is about is challenging that economy based on greed and demanding an economy that works for all of us, not just the 1%.
Yeah!
Now when we talk about the economy, let me tell you things that will not appear on ABC. And you know why they won't appear on ABC? Who owns ABC?
Disney!
So they don't talk about these things. And where are Disney's, the many t-shirts and the zillions of products that Disney manufactures? Where are they made? They made here in Anaheim? They're made in China. I didn't know that. I knew that. And they exploit people in China and they bring these products back into this country. Well, I think it would be very nice for the Disney Corporation to start building factories here in the United States so American workers. And let me make a prediction that that statement will not appear on ABC tonight.
Right! Disney makes babies cry.
Here is where we are with the economy. it's important that everybody understands this. We today have more income and wealth inequality than any other major country on earth, and it is worse here in America today than it has been since 1928, a long, long time ago.
And the Fed, Bernie?
Today, the top 1/10 of 1%, not 1%, 1/10 of 1% owns almost as much wealth as the bottom 90%. Got that? And I dare say that the gentleman who is the CEO of Disney is part of that 1/10 of 1%.
Boo.
Today, the 20 wealthiest people in America, 20 people, own more wealth than the bottom half of America, 150 million people. Today, we have in America families in which mom is working 40 or 50 hours a week, dad's working 40 or 50 hours a week, the kids are working, and yet 58% of all new income is going to the top 1%. In other words, we have a rigged economy. Middle class is continuing to disappear. We've got 47 million people living in poverty. We have the highest rate of childhood poverty of almost any major country on earth, and the very, very rich are getting richer. So what this campaign is about is trying to create an economy that works not only for the people on top, but works for all Americans. What do we have to do that? Well, let's start off. If you work 40 hours a week, in my view, you should not be living in poverty.
That's right.
You know, there are single moms right now that go out to work, and put yourself into the place of a single mother trying to bring up a child, two children. You go out and you work and you're making 11, 12 bucks an hour. You can't find affordable childcare. You can't find an apartment or a house that you can afford. And that's your life, struggling every week to make sure that your kids are eating adequately and they have